Today I'm talking about something brand new, something wild, and something that honestly surprised me in a really good way. I got my hands on an early screener for a new horror themed game show called Better Luck Than Chuck, and I have a lot of thoughts. So, Better Luck Than Chuck is a horror themed game show hosted by one of the most unexpectedly entertaining duos I've seen in such a long time. Charlie and the Widow are celebrating their 50th anniversary, but Charlie's been dead for 50 years. So, I guess it's a shared anniversary, but only one of them is still alive to celebrate it. Sort of. So, I guess Charlie's always wanted to be a game show host, but being dead kind of slowed down his career aspirations. But here in this horror themed basement, he finally gets his moment in the spotlight. And it's exactly as chaotic as you might hope. And the Widow, well, she's a witch with some serious magical ability. She's the one who creates the set in her basement using her powers. She can summon contestants out of thin air, transform the space, and my personal favorite, make the contestants disappear. Her presence gives this show a supernatural, campy charm that feels like Tales from the Crypt collided with a classic Nickelodeon game show. Now, the first thing to talk about is the aesthetic. The entire show takes place in the Widow's magical basement, and honestly, it is awesome. It's colorful, it's creepy, it's playful. Basically, a haunted funhouse thrown into a neon-drenched dungeon. Now, let's talk about the format of the show. The game show itself is broken down into 2 rounds of trivia. Round 1 eases you in with fun horror questions, not super simple, but enough to get you warmed up. Now, round 2, that's where things get serious. They start pulling out some deep horror cuts. Stuff you would only know if you spent way too much time watching obscure titles, reading liner notes, or following boutique labels like Severin and Vinegar Syndrome. This show is for the casual horror fan and the hardcore horror fan like myself, and it is a full-on challenge. Now, if the contestants make it through both rounds, they move on to the bonus round, Charlie's Workshop. And this is where the show gets really fun. Charlie's Workshop is basically a giant scavenger hunt, but with a horror twist. Contestants have to find items in the workshop based on hints provided from the Widow based on horror films. For example, find something that belongs to a boy who drowned at a camp. Boom, Jason Voorhees. But that doesn't mean that the items are easy to find in this chaotic workshop. I'll tell you right now, I had a hard time finding a lot of items in this first episode. This round is frantic and it is honestly hilarious. Now, without giving away too much about the game show, let's move on to the prizes. Now, the prize packages are no joke. If you are a horror collector like I am, then this is basically the dream haul. There's a movie prize pack from Severin Films, horror props from Trick or Treat Studios, apparel from Fright Rags, vinyl soundtracks from TerraVision Records, and of course, what's a horror prize pack without a trip to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando or Universal Hollywood? That is an insane lineup of prizes for this game show. Alright, now let's talk about some of the highlights. First, like I mentioned before, is the basement aesthetic. It's super colorful, spooky, and unique, and it immediately sets the tone. And then there are the hosts. The Widow and Charlie are genuinely entertaining. Their chemistry, jokes, and overall presentation really bring the show to life. One of my favorite parts is the comedy aspect of this show. The show doesn't take itself too seriously, which is perfect. It leans into the camp and horror humor. Now, the best part of the entire show are absolutely the categories. While some questions can be answered by the casual horror fan, a lot of these questions get really deep, and this is legitimately challenging for the hardcore horror fan. And that's something I think that us in the horror community are really going to have fun with. And then there's the guest appearances. Seeing guest appearances from big names in horror like Mike Flanagan really adds a lot of fun and credibility to this show. So here are my final thoughts. Overall, Better Luck Than Chuck is a chaotic, funny, horror-loving celebration of everything spooky. It knows its audience, it embraces the camp, and it delivers a genuinely entertaining experience. If you're a horror fan, a fan of trivia, or someone who just wants a good horror-themed game show to binge, this is the show for you. So definitely keep this one on your radar because it will be coming to streaming very soon. So I'm leaving the trailer to this game show down in the description. Please click on it, go and watch the trailer to the game show. I promise you won't be disappointed. Also, go follow the Instagram. The link is also in the description. And then, after you watch the trailer, make sure to subscribe to the Better Luck Than Chuck YouTube channel. Make sure to follow their Instagram. The link is in the description. And then come back and please like this video and subscribe to Mike's Horror channel.